Hi, everyone. Welcome to the new moon in Capricorn astrology of the moon. My name is Candice. I'm a psychic intuitive, and I have a little bit of a sinus cold. So if you can handle me sounding a little stuffed up right now, we are going to get through this just fine. I am on the mend. But let's talk about this new moon. So the first thing I want to preface is I tend to pull certain things that I'm being guided to look at and to speak to um, and then share them with you. I'm not a traditional astrologist. So if you're looking for traditional stuff, there are many people out there who may fit your fancy. And just take what resonates, leave the rest. Some of this might be for you, some of it might not. So you just get to pick and choose what feels right for you. Um, this new moon in Capricorn, we're going to look at the themes. We're going to look at the sun and moon position, the midheaven position, the vertex position, and why I was called to look at those things. I'm also going to look at the lot of fortune, lot of spirit, and lot of eros. The overall energies, the barriers of the karmic cage unlocked so that we can work towards our true future. That's really the theme of this new moon. And for those of you who are sensitive to energy, you're going to feel this. You're going to feel the old karmic tethers. You're going to feel some of the old stuff, maybe have some physical purging like I am with a sinus cold, but you still feel the potential of what we can work towards. And Capricorn, as you know, likes to work towards specific things. Now the themes of this new moon is new traditions versus old traditions, creating new traditions, refining old traditions, whatever that looks like, doing the work without sacrifice. Um, Mental clarity, anchoring a renewal of our path. Feels like we kind of diverted from it a little bit, I feel. Anchoring in higher timelines. And here's what's really interesting about Capricorn energy for those of you who know Capricorns or who have Capricorns in your life, what have you, okay? Um, Capricorns, they don't concern themselves, they don't really concern others. They don't concern themselves with others when they are focused on their own path. Like when it comes to their goals, they don't really concern themselves with a lot of other people. They probably shoulder a little bit more responsibility than they need to, but they don't necessarily, sorry, I'm going to cough a little and once in a while, but they don't spend time thinking about as much about how other people are going to help them make their dreams come true. They kind of really have a very clear self-focus, and I feel we're all going to feel a little bit of that. Okay, very interesting. Now, the first position we're going to look at is the sun and moon. They're in the sixth house, which to me is the Gaia field. For those of you who are new here, I talk about the frequency energies in a different video, but I like to bring all the elements together. Um, we're we're anchoring in a new algorithm. If you don't realize it yet, your entire life is an algorithm of some kind. And here's the thing, this is my belief. So if you don't believe this, this is totally okay. You can just kind of skip over this part or whatever floats your boat. Um, but it's like, when you go online and you look at certain things or you search certain things, and all of a sudden you have all those ads. Well, that's where the focus of the energy of the internet is, right? That's where you're telling it your focus is. Energetically, we do the same thing, whether it's conscious or unconscious. When we focus on certain things, we tend to experience things being brought into our peripheral because that's what we're focusing on. That's where our energy is going. But we are anchoring in a new algorithm, a more conscious one, and one that's actually going to serve our path forward in a different way. Okay. Where we were taught through lessons and hardship and pain and suffering, we are shifting that. There's lots of different things shifting. It's very complex and it's different for everyone. Okay. We are seeking to renew the world. We don't like the world the way it is. We can be grateful for certain things in the world and certain people and certain experiences, but we don't actually like the way the world is. So we are actually seeking to renew the world in some way through our own conscious contribution to that. So we're reclaiming our power in a grounded way, not worrying about what anyone else is doing or needing to prove yourself to others. What's really interesting about Capricorn energy is sure, there's a desire to prove yourself, but there's also a desire to prove yourself to you. Like, I think Capricorns probably have much higher standards for themselves than other people, and it doesn't mean that it doesn't translate in any other way, but small steps, things will add up. Just take small steps at a time. The ability, yes, one day, moment at a time, the ability to predict in a grand scheme does not work anymore. And I want to respect people that want to do that and play with the energy and kind of see what transpires and what comes of things, okay? But truly day to day, moment by moment, okay? Steadfastly not giving into the fear or carried away in thought. Think about, again, think about Capricorn energy and how it has this ability to singular focus, to focus on what really matters, to prioritize what really matters over the distractions and the worries and the fears that most of us just don't have any control over. Okay. Um, Intuitive faculties coming online in a more grounded way. Um, Heightened worlds through meditation and a desire to connect to higher consciousness. Some of you might find more and more as we start to untether from the way we've given our power away to social media, societal expectation, belief systems, because we're here to create all of that. We're here to create new, with all that new societal expectations, new societal norms. So we can't continue to subscribe to the old stuff and then expect that it's going to be, it's going to be new. So there's a big shift happening with that, but you're going to find more and more that you're going to want to spend time in meditation, kind of time in your own world, getting clear with yourself. Faithfully living tuned into intuition. Okay, allowing your intuition to be a priority over facts from the past, over opinions of others, over the majority rule, whatever that is. Your individual intuition is attuned to you and what you need. It doesn't mean you're separate from everyone else. It's just that when you're able to show up fully in your own authenticity and in alignment with what's truly yours, you're you better serve people and fit in better. I don't know how to explain that, but awareness of the lower frequencies and their connection to the past. So people who uplift by shaming or correction, I feel like there's going to be a massive, hang on. There's going to be a massive shift with that. We had a big slew of these in the early 2000s, I think, maybe 2010s. I'm not going to name names. You probably know who I'm talking about. People who address the toxic masculinity of things with the right and wrong and shame people into criticizing themselves so they can grow and be better. That has no place in this world. I'm going to tell you. And I know that that's probably a personal belief. So again, it's a lower frequency algorithm that keeps you needing those people to be an authority for you. It's not actually helping you grow and shift. It's actually connecting to the parts of you that were conditioned to believe that you have to be critical of yourself in order to grow in any way. Like there's not a lot of compassion or empathy or acceptance or acknowledgement. Like it's really hard to get over something when you're constantly made to feel shame about it because holding on to that shame means you won't do it again. Like it's just this really bizarre belief system we have, okay? But I feel there's going to be an awareness of where you're listening to somebody and they're in a lower frequency realm. So maybe the example is more for me when I'm listening to those people, I can feel how much lower their frequency is than mine, and the vibrational mismatch of that is very irritating to me. For some, a need to comfort or confront any thought, feeling, projection, and reaction that doesn't serve them and let them honor their path. So for some of you, you might have belief systems, thoughts that you used to operate by, and any feelings of projection or reactions from others or feelings that just don't serve your natural path are gonna be like really obvious because there's gonna be a lot of friction with them. Okay. All right. Um, the midheaven. They had me looking at the position of the midheaven. We have it in Pisces, dreamy promotions, Pisces placements. I will say this probably to the day I die. Strong Pisces placements. These people are here to break down the barriers to unconditional love. I did not come up with that. My friend Nicole, that was her words, and they just resonated so truly. Pisces Venus, if you know a Pisces Venus person, they're like, they're the most loving people. They love love. Okay. They're here to break down any resistance or rejection to love. And it's important to understand that because with the midheaven, it's kind of that like, okay, where's the world shifting? Where's the stature of the world? And how are we expanding into that? Where are we finding our place in this world? And how are we being seen or wanting to be seen or seeing others, whatever, right? Um, and this is also the pinnacle of our creativity, where our creations have. And I know fifth house, everybody looks at the fifth house for creativity, which is also true. But to me, the 10th house, the creative field is how we creatively contribute to the world. Okay. Um, being that it's in Pisces, even you could be a Pisces sun, a Pisces moon, a Pisces Mercury, a lot of my language comes from breaking down the barriers to unconditional love and thought. Anyways, we're preparing us for the nodal shift in January. January 11th, the North Node and South Node go into Pisces and Virgo. I think it stays there till June or July, I think, of 2026. And so we're going to get a little taste of this. And it's very much to me about being compassionate, spiritual shift or spiritual perception, supporting higher timelines for our consciousness, our experience, the world at large. Okay. Again, everybody's at their own little phase of this, whatever that looks like. We're all like in these little pockets, but part of the same stream. Okay. There's a certain grace under pressure. Some of you are being gifted with opportunities that seem to be elevated in both status and experience. It may be a surprise and totally beyond what you thought you could imagine. So it feels like for some, it will feel like you may feel underqualified or beyond your capability, but you will need to live into the experience to realize that that's not true. Like some of the opportunities that are going to be coming in the next couple of weeks or over this phase is going to help you live into experiences so that you can shift your perspective of yourself and your place in this world. And this energy will also bring up any false character. When you are expected to put your best foot forward, but really you're conditioned to become what you think others want, even when it's inauthentic for you. So this idea of putting your best foot forward, well, whose foot is that? Is that your most authentic foot, or is that what the general consensus of a good foot is? Right? When we think about making a good first impression, who determines what a good first impression is? And is it aligned with who you are authentically? Like, lean into whatever that is, because I feel it's important. Some of you will begin to recognize where this is the case for you. Like for me, sometimes when I do videos, I get into perfectionism because I think I need to be perfect because that's the best foot forward. But that's just unrealistic and not, authentically, I'm kind of messy. So I think people can appreciate how messy I am. Anyways, um, some of you will need to realize that you will be more relatable and find deeper connections being your messy human self. People need authenticity. So the old structures of what people are seeking and looking for are changing. And for some of you, you might realize, like, oh my God, I'm trying to look like this professional person and have everything perfect or whatever that looks like. But that's not really where my power is. I actually have to diminish myself. I actually have to dim my light a little bit to make this to show up in this way. I have to like dim the power of my energy in order to show up a certain way. So some of you are going to kind of realize that, I feel. Okay. Now, the next position is the vertex, the vertices. Okay. So this is the presence of experience. I like to look at the vertex because it gives me insight as to how we can align with our highest path in the actions that we take or the things that we do or feel or experience, like it kind of just helps us continue to align to our soul's path. It's going to be different for everyone. But the way that you can do this at this time, okay, is trying things on for size. Just try them on. You don't have to commit to anything, but experience is going to be really important at this time. Okay. Because through the experience, we are creating a new database of information. When we look at something and we're trying to say, should we make a decision on this? We look at stuff from the past with previous experiences that we've had or experiences that other people have had, and then we try to make sense of it. But because things are so different now, we kind of have to live into the experience to be like, okay, hang on. I need to have my own experience before I can actually decide if this is right for me or not. Okay. Um, Taking the option that feels like freedom. It may not be the most logical option. Like, let's say you have a choice to make or a decision. I had one recently to give you an example where I could have chosen this one path and it felt nice. It didn't feel bad or anything, but it also felt like it was keeping me stuck in place. My other option, which was kind of terrifying in a lot of ways, not like just like scary, exciting, but triggers that, oh my God, can I do this? Felt like it was freeing me. It was something that was free. So prioritizing freedom as an option. Which option feels the most freeing to you? Um, Letting yourself have the experience you want. So giving yourself permission. Sorry. Okay. Giving yourself permission to have the experiences you want to have. You're the only one that's going to bear 100% of the responsibility of your choices. So it doesn't matter what anyone thinks. It doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. This is what you're doing for you. Okay. And in so many ways, it's going to serve the greater good. It's always going to serve the greater good to lean into your path. Okay. Freedom from the restriction of doubt, caution, and fear. Okay. Not enter, so really in a lot of ways, because not entertaining fear and even facing and addressing and dissolving the fear, then acting in this energy, if you pay attention to where you have doubts, pay attention to where you're feeling more cautious out of fear. And I'm not saying it's always a bad thing, because sometimes it has a purpose, okay? I'm not saying it's not. But if you can confront it and really lean into it and then decide to act, you're already like 10 steps ahead of the game because you're not making a decision out of fear at all. You've addressed it, right? And then we have independence with excitement and love, like really leaning into feeling independent, but being excited about it and bringing more love in and doing what you love and being excited by what you love and who you love. Like there's something, love is still here. And here's the really interesting thing. I speak to independence because we are all on individual paths. We might be part of similar collectives, we might be having similar experiences, but I'm going to tell you more and more, everybody's going to start having their own personal interpretation. A lot of the stuff I do, I try not to bring too much of myself in it, but because of the type of energy I have, so much of my understanding comes from my own experiences, okay? You might take completely different things from this than what I'm putting out there, and that's completely okay. Everybody is going to have an independent path, but we are all moving towards the same goal, okay? And it's going to be different for everyone. Okay. Now, we're going to get into okay, let me just get a drink of water. The Lot of Fortune, Spirit, and Eros, okay? The lot of fortune are things that happen for us. The lot of spirit are things that we co-create with spirit and can lean into. They're inspiring to us. And a lot of eros is what is pleasing to the soul. Who and what is pleasing to the soul. What I find really fascinating, because the calculations of getting these, like the lot of fortune and the lot of spirit, are all both calculated by the sun, moon, and ascending. So when it's a new moon and the sun and moon are in the same place, okay, they're going to line up all together, which I think is so auspicious. I think that's really powerful. And a lot of arrows, because it's has different calculations, it's gonna be somewhere else all the time. But what I kind of love about this is everything being on that ascending line. Okay, this is heart and soul physical expansion, how we embody our heart frequency. Those of you that are Cancer risings, this is going to feel amplified for you, or it could be completely normal because this is kind of your normal thing, right? Because you being a Cancer rising has its own, there's a nurturing energy there. There's a need for physical safety in order to open and expand into love, to feel physically good and safe in your body, all of those things. And I'm sure there are a lot of other things about Cancer risings. You just get to lean into that, okay? Um, Now soul memory is helping us expand beyond our lineage. So much of what we believe to be true, who we believe we are, comes from our ancestral lineage, right? Intergenerationally passed down from generation to generation. But our souls are all coming online, and our souls have all this other experience that is coming in to expand who we are in addition to all that family stuff. Okay. We have a lot of mutation through closure. So there's going to be some grief at this time. There's going to be some sadness. You might feel some nostalgia, but what's happening is we're going through a mutation of closing out all that old energy we might be carrying. You don't have to understand how it all works. You just need to understand that maybe you're feeling the way that you are because you're processing those emotions so that you no longer hold them anymore. Okay. Hopefully this is still going. All right. I'm trusting my mic because I'm holding my mic and I think, okay, hopefully you can still hear. All right. Um, Allowing experience and knowledge to integrate. Okay, it's going to take time to embody what's happening with you, what you're understanding about yourself and your path. And with a lot of fortune and a lot of spirit here, these are things that are both happening for you and things that you're calling in for yourself. Okay. Authentic, unique presence to offer the rarest gift of all, which is your energy. What's so fascinating to me about Cancer, and you can come after me if you want. Cancer placements have this really strong, beautiful energy, but they spend so much of their time determining who they are based on other people and how other people react to them that they don't even realize the potency and the potential they have. And sometimes it becomes a manipulative energy because they're so intuitive and they're so in tune with the emotional body. Okay. So whether you have Cancer placements or not, this is as a whole what we are experiencing and understanding that we are being we are integrating the understanding that we are in our authentic, most unique presence. This is the rarest gift we have to offer the world. It does not matter what you're good at. It does not matter what people have defined you as. Your energy is the gift. Okay. Remembering the power of your soul and heart frequency and utilizing that to find safety in your experience because Cancer requires safety. It requires emotional balance. We're going to need a little bit of that, but we're going to get it from the soul. We're going to get it through the process of mutating out all those old energies that are no longer serving us. Now, from a balanced energy, to understand we're coming out of, I guess that I want to say the greed dimension, being greed, materialistic, like us versus them, hierarchy, all those things, right? So just observe and define the parts of yourself that do not allow for your expansion out of fear. Okay. Those parts of you are old and outdated, and you probably inherited them through experiences or from other people. Okay. Old energy that creates discontent within you is going to make itself known at this time. And all you need to do is love yourself through the experience and remember that it's all shifting. Okay, last but certainly not least, we have the lot of Eros, which I just love. It's in Sagittarius right now. Um, and we're seeking what pleases the soul. Okay, this is actually what pleases the soul, but we're seeking that. Okay. Enjoying, so this is about, quantum leaps and jumps. Here's what's important. You're going to find people talking a lot about quantum leaps and jumps right now. People have their own experience with that. This is a very individualized process, okay? Some can do it in a group format, whatever that looks like. I feel like we're still going to see a lot of people like almost talk. You ever see somebody talk a resume? Like, I don't know where this is coming from, why it's coming up right now, but I'm just feeling the need to share it. So where people you come onto a video and they list all of their accomplishments for you so you can believe that they're legitimate. There's something about that that's shifting. We are moving into a space of feeling and sensing and knowing whether somebody lists their accomplishments or not. We're going to know whether they're legitimately for us or not. Okay. We're not going to be legitimately for everybody. Again, that's old belief systems around being legitimate in what you do. Okay. Are you following me a little? Okay. So I talk about quantum leaps and jumps because just like manifesting, it's going to become a huge trend, but it is a very unique process for each individual person that you might get tips and tricks from other people, but your soul is going to know the way for you. Okay. And you might get help energetically clearing out any obstruction or restriction or limitation in regard to that. Like the people can help you align with your most authentic self if that's what you're looking for. But people can't actually help you do the leap or jump. Like it still has to be you, if that makes sense. Anyways, there's something about that that kind of is unfolding. Um, Enjoying the journey beyond the destination. So actually just enjoying the adventure that we're on right now, being like, wow, what is this going to show me today? Um, Living into personal limitlessness. Like really, what does that really mean? And are your thoughts there, or do your thoughts try to play devil's advocate with you around Murphy's Law or whatever? Listen, belief systems are a huge thing. And in the frequency of the moon video, I'm going to talk a lot about that. Okay, so I saw shoes with wings, focusing on personal destiny. You have your own little shoes with wings, and they're going to take you wherever you need to go. You don't have to go where other people go in their quantum leaps and jumps. You get to go where you're destined to go, okay? But I do feel the more we come into alignment with our authentic self, our soul, our energy, whatever that looks like, however you want to word it, the more we're going to understand our own process of leaping and jumping. Okay. That's why you see so many people talk, oh, there's a quantum jump. And some people are like, well, I didn't feel that. And some people are like, I totally felt that. It's an individualized process. Okay. Um, oh, this was good. Okay. So personal limitless comes from staying out of realities that bind. So what I've been doing, because but the best thing to be free and not fall for linear progression, everything you know is beyond the world's projection. Okay, so I just want to talk about this. I want to take a little bit of a detour and talk a little bit about this because when I talk about social media, okay, I have been doing really good and not going on it very often. I have an Instagram page, so I keep that updated a little bit, but I haven't been looking at a lot of stuff because social media platforms and the people on there are projecting an old reality. They're coming from a place with old rules and all the old, and I don't want to subscribe to that. And because I'm so sensitive, I need to take a step back so that I don't go into those realities that bind me to an old way of being. Because my energy will shift into that because it's familiar, it's a pattern, it's a pathway I've been on. It's going to automatically go there. So my way of having my own experience is to limit the amount of energy and experience I have online and what I actually engage in because a lot of it is still very nuanced in the old belief systems. Okay. That might not be your path. That might not be what's for you. That works for me. I just wanted to share in case that's something you want to try out. There's going to be a lot of breakthroughs, so allow them. Okay. Inner intention is greater than outer results. Absent from the daily rough and tumble. So take a step back, spend time with yourself. Clear out any invasive or foreign energies that do not serve. So you might want to do some energetic clearing, some meditations. These are all things that your soul is going to find pleasing at this time, okay? The individualized path, playing with quantum jumps, playing with the idea of limitlessness, paying attention to where you're having those breakthroughs to break you free of the limitations or needing whatever it is you need to do to spend time understanding your own personal path. So I hope that this has helped, and I'm sending you guys lots of love. If you want to have your own transit reading, I do have them available on my website, and that's www.candywishman.com. Right on the first page, it'll tell you what the actual featured readings are. Take care, and